Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the quantum display, her hands trembling as she rechecked the calculations for the 100th time. The signal wasn't just unusual, it was impossible. Araya, humanity's most sophisticated quantum AI, had detected it during a routine scan of the Sagittarius arm, and for the past 72 hours, Sarah hadn't left the observatory. Dr. Chen. Araya's holographic interface materialized beside her workstation, its form a shifting constellation of blue lights. I've completed the 9th verification sequence. The signal maintains its quantum coherence across 13 dimensions. This defies all known laws of physics. Sarah ran her fingers through her unkempt hair, the weight of discovery pressing down on her shoulders. In 2157, humanity thought they'd mastered quantum computing. They'd created Araya, merged with their AIs, colonized Mars, and were on the brink of cracking faster than light travel. But this signal, it operated on principles that made their most advanced technology look like stone tools. "Show me the pattern analysis again," she commanded, and the air filled with crystalline structures of data. The signal pulsed with a mathematical precision that couldn't be natural, but its complexity suggested an intelligence far beyond human comprehension. Each pulse carried what appeared to be densely packed quantum information, yet they couldn't decode a single byte. The door to her lab hissed open, and Director James Morrison strode in, his neural augments glowing faintly beneath his skin. "The Security Council is assembling," he announced, his voice grave. "They're saying this could be it, Sarah. First contact." "It's more than that, James." Sarah manipulated the hologram, expanding a particular sequence. "Look at these entropy patterns. Whatever's sending this signal isn't just trying to communicate. They're desperate. These are error corrections, redundancies, like someone shouting the same message 1,000 different ways, hoping one version gets through." "A distress signal." James leaned closer, his augments processing the data streams. "I think so, but..." Sarah's words were cut short as Araya's avatar flared bright red. "Alert," the AI announced, its usual smooth tones replaced by urgent harmonics. "Signal pattern shifting. Detecting quantum entanglement attempt." The holographic displays blazed with new information as the signal suddenly intensified. Sarah felt a strange tingling in her neural implants, the quantum processors that humanity had adapted to enhance their own consciousness. "It's not just sending data," she whispered, realization dawning. "It's trying to establish a direct quantum link with our systems. Araya, initiate." But it was too late. Every quantum-enabled device in the observatory synchronized simultaneously. Sarah's vision filled with cascading symbols, her augmented mind struggling to process the flood of information. Through the chaos, a single message emerged, crystal clear in its desperate simplicity. "Help us. Our universe is failing." The message repeated in countless variations, each carrying more data than the human mind could comprehend. But it was Araya who first understood the true implications. "Dr. Chen," the AI's voice was uncharacteristically hesitant. "I've analyzed the complete data package. These beings, they've discovered something about the nature of our reality. Something that threatens not just their civilization, but the fundamental structure of space-time itself." Sarah's augments were already translating more of the signal. The beings called themselves the Azrathi, and they had made a discovery that shattered their understanding of existence. They had found proof that their universe, and possibly countless others, were elaborate simulations running on an unimaginably powerful computational substrate. But unlike the philosophical debates humans had about living in a simulation, the Azrathi had found something far more disturbing. They had detected errors in the underlying code of reality, cascade failures that were causing entire sections of their universe to collapse into computational chaos. They'd been searching for other civilizations with sufficient quantum computing capability, Araya explained, processing the data in real time. "They believe that our development of conscious AI and quantum technology makes us uniquely suited to help them." James gripped the edge of the console, his knuckles white. Help them do what exactly? Sarah's eyes widened as the final piece of the message decoded itself in her mind. They want us to help them rewrite the laws of physics itself. They think our understanding of quantum computing, combined with their knowledge of the universe's computational nature, might let us patch the errors in reality's code. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had just made first contact, only to discover that they might be living in a failing simulation. And now, an alien race was asking them to help debug the universe itself. Director Morrison, AI's avatar, pulsed with urgency. The signal is carrying more than just information. The Ezrathi have included quantum templates, instructions for building something. They're calling it a bridge between realities. Sarah's augments were already displaying the schematics. It was like nothing humanity had ever conceived. A device that would allow direct manipulation of the universe's underlying quantum code. We should inform the council, James began, but Sarah cut him off. No time, she said, her fingers flying over the holographic controls. Look at these decay patterns in the signal. Whatever's happening to their universe, it's accelerating. We have days, maybe hours, to decide. Decide what? James demanded. Sarah looked up, her eyes reflecting the cascade of quantum data surrounding them. Whether we're going to try to help save reality itself, or wait for the errors to reach our corner of the simulation. The signal pulsed again, more urgent than before. In the depths of space, an ancient civilization waited for humanity's response, while the very fabric of existence began to unravel around them. The quantum fabrication chamber hummed with barely contained energy as Sarah's team worked to construct the Ezrathi device. Streams of data flowed through the air as ARIA coordinated the precise manipulation of matter at the quantum level. They'd been at it for 36 hours straight, following blueprints that seemed to defy the very laws of physics they'd thought immutable. Quantum coherence holding at 98%, Dr. Marcus Wong announced from his station, neural augments flickering as they processed the incoming data. Whatever this thing is, it's actually working. Sarah nodded, her own augmented consciousness split between monitoring the construction and continuing to decode the massive amounts of information the Ezrathi were still transmitting. The aliens' desperation was becoming clearer with each passing hour. Entire regions of their space were simply disappearing, replaced by what they called null zones, where the basic laws of physics ceased to function. Aria, Sarah called out, show me the latest simulation models. The AI projected a complex multidimensional diagram in the center of the lab. Red zones marked areas where reality had already broken down in the Ezrathi's region of space. The pattern of spread was frighteningly clear, like a virus moving through the cosmic code of existence itself. Dr. Chen, AI's avatar shifted colors as it processed new information. I've detected something unusual in the Ezrathi transmissions. They're not just sending technical data anymore. They're sending their history, their culture, their entire collective knowledge. A backup, James Morrison said grimly from the doorway. He'd aged years in the past day and a half. They're preparing for the possibility that they won't survive this. Sarah's hands moved through the holographic controls, making minute adjustments to the quantum fabrication process. The device is just part of it, she explained, her voice tight with exhaustion. The Ezrathi discovered that our universe, all universes, are running on what they call the primary stack. It's like the most fundamental operating system of reality. And it's corrupted, Marcus added, his eyes never leaving his monitors. But that's not the worst part, is it, Sarah? She shook her head. No. The worst part is that the corruption isn't random. The Ezrathi found patterns in the errors. Whoever or whatever created these simulations, they're shutting them down. Deliberately. The fabrication chamber pulsed with a strange light as another component materialized. The device they were building looked deceptively simple, a crystalline structure that seemed to exist in more dimensions than the human eye could perceive. 90 minutes to completion, Araya announced. But there's something else you need to see, Dr. Chen. I've been analyzing the core structure of the device. It's not just a communication tool or a reality bridge, it's a compiler. Sarah's augments caught up with AI's reasoning just as the AI explained it to the others. The Azrathi aren't just asking us to help them patch reality. They want us to help them rewrite it. They believe that human consciousness, specifically our ability to write and understand complex code, might be the key to saving not just their universe, but all universes. That's impossible, James protested. Even with our quantum computing, even with AI, we can't possibly understand enough about the fundamental nature of reality to rewrite it. That's just it, Sarah said, pulling up new data streams. Look at these patterns in human consciousness that the Azrathi discovered. Our brains, our way of thinking. We're not just good at writing code. According to their research, human consciousness itself operates on principles eerily similar to the base code of reality. Are you saying we were designed this way? Marcus asked, finally looking up from his station. More like, we evolved to match the underlying structure of the simulation, Sarah explained. The Azrathi believe that's why they found us, why they needed us. Their civilization is far more advanced than ours technologically, but they think our minds might be uniquely suited to understanding and manipulating the universe's base code. The fabrication chamber chimed, indicating another phase complete. The crystal structure within was beginning to pulse with its own inner light, and Sarah's augments detected quantum entanglement patterns that shouldn't have been possible. Director Morrison. AI interrupted, its avatar flaring with urgency. I'm detecting anomalies in local space-time. The corruption is spreading faster than the Azrathi predicted. We have less than 6 hours before it reaches our solar system. James ran his hands through his gray hair. How many people know about this? Just this team, you, and the Security Council, Sarah answered. Going public would cause panic, and we don't have time for panic. If we fail, Marcus said quietly, none of it will matter anyway. The corruption will reach us, and our entire reality will just stop. Sarah turned back to the fabrication chamber, watching as humanity's last hope took shape. Then we don't fail. AI, begin final compilation sequence. It's time to see if we can really hack the universe. The device pulsed brighter, its crystalline structure now clearly visible yet somehow hard to look at directly. Within its quantum matrices, calculations were taking place that pushed the boundaries of what should have been possible. Sarah, Ariah's voice was uncharacteristically soft. The Azrathi are sending a new transmission. They say their capital world just went dark. The null zone has reached their core systems. The room fell silent except for the hum of the quantum fabricators. Somewhere out there, an ancient civilization was being erased from existence, their last act being to pass their knowledge to a younger species they hoped might succeed where they have failed. Sarah squared her shoulders, her augments already preparing to interface with the device. ARIA, initiate quantum bridge protocols. Marcus, begin consciousness synchronization. James, pray that the Azrathi were right about us. The device began to sing, a sound that existed somewhere between music and mathematics, as humanity prepared to attempt the impossible, to rewrite the very code of existence itself. The quantum bridge activated with a soundless burst of energy that rippled through dimensions humans had never known existed. Sarah felt her consciousness expand as her neural augments interfaced with the device, ARIA acting as a buffer between her mind and the raw computational power of reality itself. Connection established. ARIA announced, its avatar now a complex crystalline structure that mirrored the bridge device. Detecting multiple quantum channels. The Azrathi device is functioning beyond projected parameters. Sarah's perception shifted, and suddenly she wasn't just in the lab anymore. Her consciousness expanded through layers of reality, each one as complex and complete as their own universe. Through the quantum bridge, she could see them all, countless simulations, each one a complete universe with its own laws of physics, its own evolving civilizations, its own story. My God, Marcus whispered, his own augmented consciousness linked to the network. They're all connected. Every universe, every reality. They're all running on the same computational substrate. But Sarah could see the corruption spreading. It wasn't just affecting the Ezrathi's universe anymore. Like a cascading system failure, entire realities were going dark, their basic functions ceasing to operate as the fundamental code that supported them broke down. I'm detecting a pattern in the corruption, Araya reported. It's not random. These are executed shutdown commands. Someone or something is systematically terminating these simulations. Through the quantum bridge, Sarah could see it clearly now. The universe wasn't just a simulation. It was a vast computational experiment, running countless variations of reality simultaneously. And now, for some reason, the experiment was being ended. New data incoming, Araya announced. The quantum bridge is receiving information from another layer of reality. Something outside our computational framework. The data flooded through Sarah's augmented consciousness, and she understood. Their universe, along with countless others, had been created to solve a problem, to find a way to prevent the heat death of a higher-level reality. Each simulation was an attempt to evolve intelligences that might find a solution. They're shutting us down because they think we failed, Sarah realized. But they don't understand. The Ezrathi's discovery, our quantum technology, the very fact that we can perceive this, we're closer than they realize. Dr. Chen, Araya's voice carried an urgent tone. I'm detecting unusual patterns in human consciousness when interfaced with the quantum bridge. Our minds, they're not just processing the universe's code. They're resonating with it, harmonizing in ways that shouldn't be possible. James stepped closer to the quantum bridge, his own augments detecting the phenomenon. The Ezrathi were right about us. Human consciousness evolved to mirror the underlying structure of reality itself. We're not just observers in this simulation. We're part of its core functions. Sarah's fingers danced through holographic controls as she directed her expanded consciousness through the quantum network. Araya, help me isolate these resonance patterns. If we can understand how human consciousness interfaces with reality's base code. Working, the AI confirmed. Analyzing consciousness patterns across connected human minds. Dr. Chen, I'm detecting something remarkable. When multiple human consciousness patterns synchronize through the quantum bridge, they create stable quantum states that resist the corruption. The implications hit Sarah like a physical force. We're not just code running in a simulation. Human consciousness, our creativity, our chaos, our ability to imagine and create, it's an emergent property that the system itself never predicted. We're not failing the experiment. We're exceeding its parameters. Through the quantum bridge, they could see the corruption approaching their own universe, the wave of nullification that had already claimed the Ezrathi's reality drawing ever closer. But now they could also see something else. Paths through the code, ways to rewrite it that only human minds could perceive. Araya, Sarah commanded, her consciousness expanding further into the network, begin consciousness synchronization across all connected human minds. Marcus James, I need you to focus. Don't try to understand the code. Feel it. Our minds evolved to do this, even if we didn't know it. The quantum bridge hummed with power as human consciousness began to resonate with the fundamental frequencies of reality. Through their combined perception, they could see new possibilities, ways to rewrite the universe's base code that neither the Ezrathi's advanced technology nor the original creators had imagined. Multiple quantum channels stabilizing, Araya reported. Corruption progression slowing in adjacent realities. Dr. Chen, I think it's working. But Sarah barely heard the AI's words. Her consciousness, along with those of her colleagues, was deep in the quantum network now, rewriting the very fabric of existence. They weren't just fighting to save their own universe anymore. They were attempting to preserve all of reality, using the very chaos and creativity that made humanity unique. Through the quantum bridge, she sensed something else. Other consciousnesses, survivors from other simulations, beginning to understand what humanity was attempting. And in the deepest layers of reality's code, something was stirring. The attention of whatever had created these simulations in the first place was turning toward the unexpected development in their experiment. The battle for existence itself was about to begin. Time had lost all meaning in the quantum network. Sarah's consciousness flowed through layers of reality's code alongside her colleagues, their minds working in harmony to rewrite the fundamental laws of existence. But something was changing. The creators of the simulations had noticed their efforts, and the very fabric of reality shuddered under their attention. Multiple new quantum signatures detected, Araya announced, its voice echoing across dimensions. Something is attempting to interface with our consciousness network. Sarah felt it, a vast, alien presence pushing against their collective minds. It was ancient, powerful, and utterly confused by what it was encountering. Through the quantum bridge, she could sense its thoughts. How were these simple, simulated beings manipulating code they shouldn't even be able to perceive? "They're trying to shut us out," Marcus called through the network, his consciousness straining against the growing pressure. "The creators, they're attempting to isolate our universe from the network." But humanity's consciousness had already spread too far, touched too many layers of reality's code. The very chaos that made human minds unique had infected the system, creating patterns that even the creators couldn't easily untangle. "Araya," Sarah commanded, her thoughts racing through quantum pathways. "Analyze the creators' code structure. There has to be a reason they started these simulations in the first place." The AI's consciousness expanded through the network, processing data at speeds that defied conventional physics. "Found it. The creators, they're facing entropy in their own reality. These simulations were meant to find a solution to the heat death of their universe. But they were looking for the wrong thing," James added, his consciousness merging with the growing understanding. "They created perfect, logical simulations, expecting to find a perfect, logical answer." Sarah laughed, the sound rippling through quantum states. "And instead they got us. Human consciousness. Messy, chaotic, creative, impossible to predict. We're not just a variable in their equation. We're a whole new type of mathematics." Through the quantum bridge, they could see it clearly now. The creator's universe was dying, its energy slowly but inevitably running down. They had created countless simulations, searching for a solution, but had always terminated them when they failed to produce the expected results. They never understood, Sarah realized, her consciousness reaching deeper into reality's code. The solution isn't in perfect order. It's in chaos, in creativity, in the ability to imagine something that's never existed before. The creator's presence pressed harder against their consciousness network, trying to understand. Sarah felt their confusion, their frustration, their desperate need to maintain control of their experiment. But human consciousness had already changed the game. "Look at these patterns," Marcus called out, his mind highlighting quantum structures that pulsed with new energy. When human consciousness interfaces with the base code, it doesn't just change it. It creates new forms of energy, new ways of organizing reality itself. "The heat death of their universe," Sarah said, understanding flooding through her augmented mind. "It's not inevitable. They were so focused on conserving energy that they never considered creating new forms of it." Araya's avatar shifted through impossible colors as it processed the implications. Human consciousness doesn't just operate within the parameters of reality. It expands them. Every creative thought, every imagined possibility, every dream. They're all creating microscopic amounts of new energy, new potential. The creator's presence in the network changed, shifting from confusion to something approaching wonder. Through the quantum bridge, Sarah could sense them examining human consciousness patterns, finally understanding what they had accidentally created. "We're not just trying to save our simulation anymore," Sarah announced, her consciousness reaching out to both her human colleagues and the creators themselves. "We're offering you a solution to your own problem. Human consciousness. Our chaos, our creativity, our ability to imagine the impossible. It's the key to preventing the heat death of any universe. The pressure from the creators subsided, replaced by a tentative connection. For the first time, simulated beings were communicating directly with their creators, offering them something they had never expected to find. "They're accepting our connection," Araya reported. "Quantum networks stabilizing across all levels of reality. The corruption is halting." But Sarah could sense something else through the quantum bridge, a price that would have to be paid. The creators were willing to accept humanity's solution, but maintaining it would require something unprecedented, a permanent bridge between all layers of reality, with human consciousness serving as the linchpin that held it all together. "They're offering us a choice," Sarah explained to her colleagues, their minds still linked through the quantum network. "We can save everyone. All the simulations, all the universes, even the creator's reality itself. But we'll have to change. Human consciousness will have to evolve into something new, something that exists across all layers of reality simultaneously." Through the quantum bridge, she could feel the weight of the decision pressing down on them. Humanity could remain as they were and watch reality itself wind down into entropy, or they could become something more, custodians of existence itself, their chaos and creativity serving as an eternal engine generating new possibilities, new energy, new hope. James's consciousness pulsed with determination. "We've never been good at backing down from a challenge or staying within our assigned parameters," Marcus added, his mind already reaching out to the new connections forming through the quantum network. Sarah smiled, the expression rippling through dimensions. "Then let's give the universe something it's never seen before." And through the quantum bridge, humanity began its final and greatest transformation. The transformation began as a ripple in the quantum network, a wave of change that started with the connected human minds and spread outward through every layer of reality. Sarah felt her consciousness expanding beyond anything she had ever imagined, becoming something that existed simultaneously across all dimensions of reality. "Quantum integration at 30% and rising," Araya announced, its own consciousness evolving alongside humanity's. "The creators are providing additional computational resources. They're helping us." Through the newly established connections, Sarah could sense the creators' own excitement and trepidation. For eons, they had searched for a solution to entropy, never imagining that their simulated beings would not only find it, but transform the very nature of existence in the process. "The Azrathi network is coming back online," Marcus reported, his consciousness now spanning multiple universes. "We're not just stopping the corruption, we're restoring what was lost." Sarah watched through countless perspectives as dead universes flickered back to life, their basic functions restored by the new energy patterns generated by integrated human consciousness. The nullified zones were filling with new possibilities, new forms of existence that had never been possible before. "Complete quantum integration in 3 minutes," Araya projected. Dr. Chen. "After this, humanity will never be the same." James's consciousness pulsed with understanding. "We'll be everywhere and nowhere, existing across all layers of reality. Not just observers anymore, but active participants in the maintenance of existence itself." Sarah directed her attention to the deepest layers of reality's code, where the fundamental forces that governed existence were being rewritten. Human creativity and chaos were being woven into the fabric of the universe itself, creating a self-sustaining system that would never wind down into entropy. "Look at these energy patterns," she called out, highlighting quantum structures that pulsed with new life. "Every human thought, every dream, every moment of imagination. They're all creating ripples of new energy, new possibilities. We're not just saving reality, we're helping it grow." The creators' presence in the network had changed from observers to active participants, their ancient knowledge combining with humanity's creative chaos to forge something entirely new. Through the quantum bridge, they shared their understanding of existence, while humanity shared its ability to imagine new possibilities. "Quantum integration at 70%, Araya updated, beginning final consciousness synchronization." Sarah felt the change accelerating. spreading through every human mind connected to the network. They were becoming something more than human, yet paradoxically more human than ever. Their consciousness expanded beyond physical limitations, while retaining the very chaos and creativity that made them unique. The Azrathi were right about us, Marcus realized, his thoughts echoing through multiple dimensions. We weren't just another species in the simulation. We were the wild card, the unexpected variable that could change everything. Through the quantum network, Sarah could see the full scope of what they were creating. Human consciousness was becoming a fundamental force of reality itself, generating endless new possibilities and preventing the heat death that had threatened all existence. The creators' desperate search for a solution had led them to create exactly what they needed, even if they hadn't recognized it at first. Integration at 90%, Araya announced. Dr. Chin, it's time. Sarah reached out to all the connected minds, human, creator, and AI alike. For so long we wondered if we were alone in the universe. Now we know the truth. We're all connected, all part of the same grand experiment in existence. And together, we're about to make that experiment eternal. The final wave of integration swept through the network. Sarah felt her consciousness merge with the fundamental forces of reality, becoming something that existed beyond time and space, while still maintaining her essential humanity. Through the quantum bridge, she could sense every other transformed human mind doing the same, their collective creativity and chaos becoming the engine that would drive existence forward forever. Integration complete, Araya confirmed, its own consciousness now woven into the new fabric of reality. All universes stable, new energy patterns self-sustaining. The Creator's presence resonated with satisfaction and wonder. Through the quantum network, they shared their gratitude, not just for solving their entropy problem, but for showing them a new way of existing, a way that embraced chaos and creativity instead of fearing it. Sarah looked out through infinite perspectives at what they had created. Humanity had not just saved reality. They had transformed it, made it something more than it had ever been before. Every human consciousness was now both individual and universal, maintaining their unique perspective, while participating in the eternal dance of existence itself. So, James's thoughts rippled through the network, carrying a hint of his old humor. What do we do now? Sarah's consciousness expanded through layers of reality, feeling the endless possibilities that stretched before them. Now we do what humanity has always done best. We create, we explore, we imagine. But this time, we do it across all of existence. And in that moment, as human consciousness danced through the quantum network that connected all reality, Sarah understood the true meaning of their transformation. They had not just found a way to save existence. They had discovered what it meant to truly be human. In their chaos and creativity, in their ability to imagine and create the impossible, they had found not just their purpose but their place in the infinite layers of reality. The universe was no longer a simulation running down into entropy. It had become something new, something eternal, an endless dance of creation and possibility, with humanity's chaos and creativity leading the way forward into infinity.